Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast where we talk about building the life you actually want. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that is very near to me and is something that I've been dealing with for quite a few years now, so it's a little bit more personal, but it is about navigating outgrowing people, and more specifically friendships, and why that weird, almost like guilty in between feeling that you get when you realize you've outgrown past certain people is actually a sign that you are going exactly where it is that you're supposed to, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Because I know a lot of us, including myself, have felt that feeling like in your stomach where maybe you've left a hangout, or maybe you have left just like being around certain people and you have felt like, I don't want to be around this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And when it hits you, it's really like, I just don't want to be around this kind of energy or around this kind of environment. But then you immediately follow that feeling with, but I've been friends with this person for so long, I can't just leave. And then like that guilt hits you. If you have ever felt any of those different thoughts, this is really that episode for you, because trust me, I've been there as a certified people pleaser, as a certified, I don't want to make other people feel bad kind of girl, oldest daughter, I want everyone to always feel good. Like that is literally me, and I've had to learn to overcome this feeling. So trust me, this episode is 100% for you. And I really want to dive into what it looks like to actually outgrow people that are specifically the ones that maybe they don't have long-term visions for themselves. Maybe they are just like, I am happy with where I am. And maybe you are like, I don't want to stay stuck here anymore. I want to go bigger. I want to go and do all these different things. And why having that feeling does not make you this more superior person or this bad friend. And I just don't want you to feel that guilt if that is something that you have been dealing with or that you are starting to deal with. So no more rambling, let's dive in. Before we dive into the rest of today's episode, you know that we always ask ourselves at the beginning our weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in, which are 3 things to ask yourself. And that includes, number 1, what opportunities are you stepping into this week and how are you staying booked? I am stepping into opportunities this week by having an open, positive mindset that anything and everything can happen, really staying open to pitching myself to certain opportunities. And there was something specifically within the last week that I pitched myself for that I'm really hoping does come through, and I'm just like putting myself in the mindset everything works out the way it's meant to, everything happens the way that it's supposed to, it unfolds the way that it's meant to. And so with that mindset, I am also coupling it with action and just knowing like I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm going to try and see if this opportunity can work. And it is more related to like my social media work and things that I'm doing with my brand and my business. And so you never know what could happen if you put yourself out there, and if you don't just try and put that energy there, no one is going to know who you are. No one is going to know what it is that you do. And that's the thing, is opportunities and the things you want will come, but only if you are visible enough to, again, put yourself out there. And so that's really like what I'm stepping into. I also have an event this week in New York, and I am just like, I want to put myself there. I want to talk to people. I want to just talk more about who I am and what it is that I do, because if I don't, then no one's ever going to know. Number 2 is what is taking up your time and energy right now, and what is keeping you busy. So currently my Substack is really going absolutely well. Like I had this one post that I did, I think like a week and a half ago or almost 2 weeks ago, that is kind of like my first viral Substack post, which I'm going to put quotations around it because it's not like it has like 10,000 views or something, but it has gotten me so many subscribers to the point where I'm like, I get why everyone is going to Substack. Not because I got 100 subscribers from just this one post. It's just so rewarding when you put so much work into something and like you finally see the payoff. Like I've been working on my Substack for over a year now, and none of my posts have hit. Some of my posts never even get 1 like. I usually get like around 100 views or 150 views per post. And I'm happy with that because I'm like, you know what? That's 100 people that are reading something that I wrote that maybe didn't know who I was before and now they do. And so I am really just like so happy with how this post has started to do really well, and it just feels so nice that like me working on my Substack and putting time into something that I love, which is writing, and having people appreciate it and getting super sweet comments like, this post is so underrated, how does this post not have any comments, this was the wake up call I needed, etc. Like, that is what I love to do, and I've always loved writing ever since I was younger. So being able to have that outlet is just so great, so important for me, because again, it's just like I get to brain dump, I get to talk, and I get to bring you guys inside different topics and things it is that I want to dive into. So in case you are interested, please go visit my Substack. It's called Spill the Success, and I'm posting really good things on there. I have a whole just archive of posts that I've been making over the last year that are really, really great. So I'm just really happy that that is like something I'm really pouring time and energy into, and a lot of that work is starting to pay off. Number 3 is, what are you intentionally working towards for your future self and building? So I'm focused on being a lot more intentional about every little thing it is that I do, from how I wake up to the kind of media it is that I'm consuming to how I go to sleep, etc. Like, I am going to do an entire episode on this, on like curating your life and being really intentional about the things it is that you do, because the minute you step into that energy, I promise you, so many things around you just really start to align. And I'm just so happy with like the way life has been. And I filmed a YouTube vlog last week on just like 2 days in my life, working, building my company. And I think the title of the video, I'm going to make it like POV building a multi-million-dollar media company, something along those lines. And I'm just really putting myself in the mindset of somebody that is already having the successful business. They already have the success in all of these different things. And with that, to put yourself in that mindset, it really starts with your routine, how you wake up, what you're doing every single day, what you think about, the content it is that you are looking at, what you're reading. And so I am really, really, really diving into that like full swing. And I'm so excited for what my future is going to look like even within the next 6 months, like just seeing how this year is going to end is going to be very exciting. So that is basically everything. If you guys have answers to any of these questions, please let me know in the comments, because I really love talking to you guys. Tip number 1 is, recognize that comfort and stagnation are not the same thing as loyalty. I want to be the person to hold your hand when I say this, that longevity or loyalty does not automatically mean the friendship or the relationship is right for you and that you need to stay with that. Whether it's a person that you're dating, whether it's a person that you've been friends with since childhood, or you just met them within the last year or 2 years, whatever it may be, those two things can exist, but it does not need to be something that you have to follow. And I realized this right when I graduated high school. I looked at college as something that was a brand new fresh start for me. I literally started college with the mindset of, I have this 4-year timeline. I literally have 4 years to get my life together, to try all these different things, do the internships, do the random job, do whatever it is that I wanted, because in college, when you're a student and you don't have as many responsibilities, you really can try anything and everything. And so that's how I looked at college. And with that whole like fresh start mindset, I also took that into my friendships, and I was like, I don't want to go into college with the same people that I was friends with in high school. And I did that on purpose, because I knew that I was going to enter this new era of my life. And it's not because I thought that, again, like I'm more superior, that you think you're better than people, but it's just because you're like, I'm entering this new stage of my life. I want to try new things. And sometimes you may not even realize it, but those are the kind of people that are going to hold you back. They're the ones that are not going to let you move forward. And so, of course, I still had some friendships that I carried in, but around mid college, I just decided this is not going to work anymore. And again, it's not to be rude. It's not to be mean. It's to be simply like, I am moving into this new stage of life. Things are just not working right now. And that is a part of life. That is so natural, because it's genuinely like a breakup with a person, like as if you're in a relationship with them. If it's not serving you, and even more, it's not serving that other person either, or even if it's just one-sided, it doesn't matter. Like, you do not have to stay where it is that you don't want to. It's your life, and life is already so short. Just live it the way it is that you want. Like, you do not owe someone to have a permanency in your life just because you've known them for this many years, or just because you've been friends with them for such a long time. Like, you need to ask yourself, is this friendship, is it based on who I am now, or is it based on who I was a few years ago? ago? And when you ask yourself these questions, it becomes a lot easier to decide who do you want to stay in your life. Like, you are allowed to love somebody's past version of them and still like not want to be around who they are today, if that makes sense. Like, I've had friendships where I loved how it was when we were younger and how it was when we hung out like that, and that I loved. But as we got older, I was like, this is just not working anymore. And it's like, I cannot keep hanging on to the past. I cannot keep hoping and wishing that the way it was a few years ago is how it's going to be now, when clearly nothing has shown that it is going to be like that ever again. So stop treating this, oh, we've been friends for so many years, or stop just having this, oh, I feel bad kind of feeling. Like, that should not be your reason to stay somewhere, especially where you feel like you are stuck. So again, it's about recognizing, again, comfort and stagnation. Like, it is really not the same thing as loyalty or as I want to stay friends with this person just because of like all these years, etc. As you get older, your time is going to become so much more precious and so much more valuable. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, your time is your time. That is the one thing nobody gets back. So be really careful about who it is that you're spending time around. Tip number 2 is notice the difference between people who are in a season versus people who are content staying where they are. This is a very important tip because I understand like everybody moves at different paces. Everybody moves in different moments in their life. I 100% get that. That is fine. But there is a difference between someone who is genuinely working through something on their own timeline versus someone who is okay with the needle not moving at all or it barely moving in general. And I can speak on so many different friendships that I've had in the past where they are just like, it's going to work out, it's going to be okay, but it's not being coupled with action, because that's the thing. You can hope, you can wish on a star, you can do all these different things, but if it is not being put together with action, then you're never going to get to where you are today. If 6 years ago when I decided I wanted to start social media, I just said in my head, I want to start social media, I want to be a content creator, etc., but I never did anything to actually prove that. Like, I never posted my first video, I never reached out to my first brand, I never pitched myself for XYZ. Like, if I would have never put myself out there, then I would not be where I am today. And it literally started with believing I am a content creator, I am working with these kinds of brands, I am successful. Like, the affirmations, the mindset, the manifestations, like if I would have never put myself in the mindset and then did it with the action, 100% I would not be where I am today. I would not have gotten nearly half or even all of the opportunities that I have to this day. Because again, everybody moves at different paces, that is fine, but what are you doing with your time to actually get you closer to where it is that you want to be? We cannot keep living off of a pipe dream for our entire lives. Like, you're either going to do the work or life is just going to pass you by and you're going to be like, I wish I would have done this, and then you never actually did. And here's another thing too. You cannot think yourself out of a situation. Like, you can think and dream and do all these things every day. Dreaming and thinking is not going to get you out of whatever hole or wherever situation it is that you are currently in your life. Like, you can think all you want, you can watch all the videos, you can listen to all the podcast episodes, read all the books, but again, if you're not actually stepping up every day to the plate and doing something about it, you are never going to get to where it is that you want to be. So get honest with the people around you and think like, are these people moving towards something? Do these people have long-term goals for themselves, or are they at peace with where they are right now? Paying extra attention to how people talk about their future. Like, I've had friends where I've noticed when other people are talking about their careers and salaries and pitching themselves for like getting more money or promotion time like during the year, and there's the friends that kind of just sit on the sideline and they want to change the conversation, or they don't really want to talk about it, or they don't really have anything to input, and they like never really want to talk about those kinds of things, like real topics that are actually important in life. Then that is literally your sign. Like, these people, they're okay with where they are. And I get it. Like, there can be some excuses. Maybe some people don't want to talk about what's happening at work, or maybe like it's kind of more personal to them. That is perfectly fine. I get it. But these are conversations that I feel like as friends you should be having. Like, my sister and I, we always talk about our careers and our lives and our future. Same thing with my boyfriend and I. Same thing with other friends that I have. Like, when you can have real, meaningful, deep, in-depth conversations about real life things and talk about it with people, and it's an actual like good flowing conversation, I feel like that's such a great feeling, because again, like, you can really get an insight into how this person thinks. And personally, I love that. Like, I love people people that want to talk about long term. They want to talk about how they want to get better or things that they want to do, whether it's leveling up with their business or starting a business or leveling up in their career. Maybe they want to be in this role at their 9 to 5, whatever it is. Like, I love to talk about those kinds of things because I'm like, this person cares about their future and they care about where it is that they want to be. So that's another thing, is like, pay attention to how certain people talk about their future when you're around them. Are they being urgent, or again, are they just okay with where they are? Because you, at the end of the day, you're not responsible for someone else to want more for themselves. And my sister and I always talk about this because we've had this problem with friendships in our own lives, like obviously separate friendships, where we feel like we have to be somebody's mom or somebody's therapist or handhold them to get to certain places in their life. And it's like, I will always be there for you. I'm always going to help you like figure out, you need a new job. Let's go on Indeed together. Let's go on LinkedIn. You don't know how to write an email. You need an internship. Like, let's figure things out. Let's do it. But you can bring a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. And so I always remember that quote when I am dealing with certain situations where I'm like, I can help this person as much as I want and as much as I can. But at the end of the day, if they don't want more for themselves and it's just me that has to be their constant motivator and cheerleader, or else they're never going to get anything done, then that's a problem. Number 3 is let go of the guilt that outgrowing someone is betrayal. So I've had this guilt every single time I've had certain thoughts about friendships and I've had certain thoughts about people, because this is usually the part that keeps people stuck the longest, is where you think just because they've been in your life this many years that you owe them something, or that it is rude or it's mean or you feel bad for doing it. And again, I am a certified people pleaser. I am the oldest daughter. I have 2 Dominican parents. Like, listen, I know what it's like to feel that guilt of you just are going to do something just because, or you are just going to stay in the friendship just because. Like, when you start to get those feelings of, I don't really feel like I'm going to grow with this person, or I don't want to let go of this person because of blah, blah, like, think about your future self. Think, if this person continues to be in your life, or if you feel good when you are not around this person or not in these certain environments, or you're out with them, or you're out in certain situations, you're like, I wish I was home, or I wish I wasn't doing this, like, that is a sign. So take it and do something about it. Like, I've had so many different hangouts and different moments where I'm like, I go home and I'm like, I wish I would have been home. Or I hang out with someone and I'm like, I did not have a good time. Like, this was genuinely not fun for me. Like, I've taken those feelings in and I'm like, well, I have to do something about it, because I'm not going to keep wasting my time every single time doing that. And that's exactly what I've been doing as I've gotten older. Like, I'm only 24, but still, like, I know that I am on a timeline with myself. And I made a TikTok about this a while back, and it was something along the lines of like, married by I don't know, kids by I don't know, engaged by I don't know, millionaire by 28. Like, something, it was something like along those lines of like, I don't know when I'm going to have kids. I don't know when I'm going to get married. I don't know when I'm going to get engaged. That is the least of my problems. I'm like, when am I going to be at the level it is that I want to be? Not that being a millionaire is everything, but I'm like, when am I going to have my business pop off? When am I going to be at the career it is that I want? When am I going to be able to give back to my family? When can I pay off my mom's mortgage? When can I pay off my student loans? Like, I have so many more important things that I'm so worried about that I'm like, that is what I care about. I don't really care about the gossip. I don't really care about that this person's not texting me. Why is this guy taking so long to text me? Like, everybody is going through different things in their life. And so if you don't want to put up with something anymore, that is perfectly fine. Like, again, do not let the guilt let you stay in certain situations just because you've known somebody for so long. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to justify it by like a certain way and make excuses or overdo it. You don't have to make it this big dramatic conversation. Like, sometimes it's just about quietly drifting away, or if it comes down to it, to having a conversation about it, then do it. I am someone that I prefer more of like a quiet drift. I've had situations where I've been honest and I'm like, listen, like, I just feel like I'm over here and XYZ, you're doing XYZ, I don't feel good when whatever. And like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's really hard. And again, like, in those moments, I still remember to this day, like, just literally shaking and like checking my phone, waiting to see what the response is going to be. But then afterward, you feel such a weight lifted off of your shoulder, because you're like, now I don't have to deal with this anymore. Now I can truly just like keep doing my thing. But again, like, remind yourself that just because you want more out of life, just because you want this, that, or just because you don't want to be around certain people, does not mean you're better than them. It does not mean you're more superior or that you have this like ego complex mindset. It literally just means like you are focused on your goals. You're focused on your vision. You know where it is that you want to be. You know where it is that you want to go. And there is nothing wrong with that. And like, I'm sick of people saying that just because you cut someone off or just because you don't want to be around these people anymore means that you think you're so important or that you think you're a celebrity. Like, it's not that. It's that genuinely we are only living this age once. Like, from 20 to 29, then you have from 30 to 39, then 40 to 49. Like, genuinely, like, you only have those time periods before life moves on. And life moves on. Before I knew it, I started college and then I finished it. Then I was in my 20s, now living in an apartment. Next is going to be the house. Next this. Like, life is going to move quickly, but if you do not do something about it, you're going to regret not doing anything at all. Before we get into the next tip, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, and that is Valdez Agency. If you're new here, Valdez Agency is the media company that I founded to help ambitious creators, students, and young professionals actually get access to opportunities and real conversations about building something meaningful and going after your dream life. If you're a creator and you want brand deals, education, and a community that wants to see you win, then Valdez Agency is the place for you, and it is absolutely free to sign up and join. To apply and be in our creator community, all you have to do is visit thevaldezagency.com. You can also rate our podcast, Booked, Busy, and Building, after you're done listening, or even right now, if you enjoy the episodes either on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Booked, Busy, and Building Podcast, which posts the full episodes. Make sure you're also signed up for our weekly newsletter, Spill the Success, which has all kinds of resources and new drops towards mindset, career, creator economy, business, and more. And lastly, follow Valdez Agency on Instagram so you never miss anything that is going on, including our book club that is hosted virtually on Fable, where we read books monthly on self-development, mindset, and more, plus our newly launched broadcast channel, which is solely on our Instagram. Reminder again that all of this is free and everything is linked in the show notes, because trust me, we are building something big with Valdez Agency and we would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get back into the episode. Last but not least, tip number 4 is give yourself permission to sit in the in-between without rushing it. I struggle a lot with friendship and like finding my friends and like finding my group of people. And I have amazing people in my life right now to this day that I am genuinely so grateful for, that I'm like, you guys are everything to me, and like I have my people. But there was a time, and there are still times, where I'm like, one day, like, I'm going to be around even more amazing, successful, ambitious women and more people that are really going after their dreams and goals. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with like me still staying in my hometown and not expanding or not going further, because of course, like I live in New Jersey. In case you didn't know, I'm a Jersey girl, and I do not see myself moving out of Jersey. But if you're from the Jersey area or you know about the area, there's some really nice parts of New Jersey that I've been to, and I'm like, I want to live here. I want a house here. Or I drive by the for sale sign and then I look it up on Zillow and I'm like, yeah, I want to live here. So I already know where it is that I want to be. I'm still obviously in my beginning era, my beginning phase. I just moved into my first apartment almost 2 years ago. I'm figuring out my footing, but I already know what I want my future house to look like, what I want the backyard to look like, what I want the front to look like, what I want my room to look like, how I want to dress. Like, I already know in my head what I want my future to look like. And so me being in this messy middle, or like you being in this in-between phase right now, give yourself the permission and like the knowing of, it's okay to be in this stage right now. It's okay to be in this era, or maybe you've outgrown your old circle and like you're waiting for new people to come in, or you don't know where to find the group it is that you want. Like, it's okay if things are not fully built out. Of course, it's uncomfortable. Of course, it's like, when am I going to find my people? Like, when is this thing going to happen? But it just means you are still in progress. Like, just because you don't see anything happening right in front of you does not mean that things are not happening in the back end. So accept this transitional period. Accept that things may feel lonely for a minute, and that is okay, but it does not mean that things are not happening in the back end. And you just need to start getting crystal clear about, what do you want your future to look like? Where do you want things to be moving forward? You do not need to replace people immediately just because you want to avoid this gap of like being uncomfortable and this whole discomfort era. Like, you are allowed to be in this in-between era and going with the flow, trying new things, meeting new people, going to events, saying yes to the things that you may not have said yes to before. Like, just go out there, try and live your life, and know that this in-between transitional period that you're in right now is not going to last forever. It's not going to be here forever. It is just here for right now. And one day when things start to work out, when things start to line up, you're going to be like, I'm so glad that I waited. I'm so glad that things happened the way that they did, because obviously it's always so much harder in the moment. But once things finally start coming into fruition, once the full picture finally starts being painted, you're going to be so grateful that you waited. And so hopefully this episode was very helpful and useful for you guys, because it was definitely the wake-up call that I needed, and that I wish I had a big sister to have told me. So now I'm here to be your guys' big sister, give you guys the advice that you probably needed, or that maybe you didn't want to hear, but you probably did need to hear it. So don't forget to rate this podcast episode, or this podcast in general. And don't forget to leave me a comment. Follow Booked, Busy, and Building Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.